Welcome to another podcast edition. Those Guys Sports. It's your boy Mike. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I just made my Raptors podcast of being a Raptors native, Toronto native, I should say, in particular. Now this is more about the NBA. This one maybe only be like 20 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. I don't know. I just felt like there's so much things that have happened that you just want to get out of your chest. There's so much that happened on the last day of the season. Two teams had their own inner conflict. Coaches get let go. And I feel like for the one coach, I just feel like I have a speech brewing in, a long dislike of the let going of this coach. And I'm going to try to hold it in. I'm going to really try to hold it in. But I don't know. Like I said, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's talk about the NBA. Now, what had happened, let's just talk about the news of the day. The first one. The first one. Rudy Gobert punches Kyle Anderson. What are you doing? What are we it's like we started the season with Draymond Green punching Jordan. That was like the first big news of the season. Unless you want to call KD wanting to leave. Yeah, that could have been it. But Rudy Gobert, see, and the reports are coming out. Woj and Shams are in it. They're like, yo, let's go. I got one, you got one. Let's just spit it out. They're both just like, I got this. Now, Shams is like, this is what happened. Woj had the sentence of what happened. Reportedly, this is what, and I'm going to paraphrase because I want to, why not? Reportedly, Kyle and Rudy were arguing about the last few plays. And if you watch the video, last few plays, there's some argument to be made. You just believe that if you have a two-time Defensive Player of the Year, that no matter what, he's always going to try to block a shot. If you lose a guy, he's always going to try to block a shot. So Kyle Anderson is like, hey, man, why don't you block some shots? This is them going back and forth, and he's just like, block a shot. What are you here for? Block a shot. And Rudy Gobert is thinking to himself, well, if I have to block shots, buddy, get a rebound. Do something. They went back and forth. I believe, from what the reports are saying, Kyle Anderson called him a bitch. He said, shut the F up, you bitch. And I'm not, that's what it seems like he said. That's what the rumors are. So if he said that, Rudy Gobert didn't like it, and you can tell in the video, Rudy Gobert is like, do you want to talk about this in the back? Like, we don't have to talk about it here. Tell us to talk about it in the back. Because it looks like his hand, because I think someone else is holding it, and he's like gesturing to the back. Like, we don't got to talk about this here. Let's talk about it in the back. And then that didn't happen. So what did he do? He pushed him. People are going to say punched him. I don't know. Was he really going for like a punch, an actual punch? Who knows? But you can tell within the team. You know, this is such a fun conversation to have. You can tell within the team, the Minnesota Timberwolves, you can tell that they mess with Kyle Anderson. They do not mess with Rudy Gobert. So, Rudy, you just made 14 enemies. You just did, because Kyle Anderson, people like him. People like Slow-Mo. He's a good player to have on your team. He's a good vet. Gobert, it looks like you warmed your welcome already. So, let's not be surprised if Gobert gets traded. They sent him home. The Timberwolves sent him home. They're like, we're not going to deal with this. Chris Finch is like, nah, we're good. Bye. GM, bye. No, go to bed, Gobert. Because we don't gonna have this. We're not going to have this. Now, with that being said, they got a playing game on Tuesday against the Lakers. That 9-10 matchup. Are you telling me that you're not going to have Rudy Gobert on that Are you gonna have Anthony Davis being guarded by Karl Anthony Towns? Or are you gonna bring Nas Reed? I think he's hurt, so you don't have Nas Reed either. So like, what are we doing? What are we thinking here? Because this Rudy Gobert thing is a thing. Draymond had to ask for trust from the team back. He had to be like, hey man, do you guys trust me again? He needed that. He needed them to be like, yeah, we got your back. It's good. You punch the man. Luckily, the man is more annoying. So we're more okay with it. We like you more, Draymond. Basically what happened. That's how I see it. But Rudy Gobert, you are not liked on that team. How you punching man in the... Or I would say pushing. How are you going to push him, man? And when he pushed him, Taurean Prince pushed him so quick. Got up and pushed him. And everyone's looking at Rudy Gobert like, yo, why'd you do that? Anthony Edwards got up a certain type of way. I think Cat got up a certain type of way looking at Rudy Gobert like, why would you touch our teammate? Because no matter what the man said, you look like you're in the wrong for touching him. Now, I must say, if he called you a bitch, then we got to talk about it. He spoke you out your name. And every man is a man at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, most men are not going to let nobody talk to them a certain type of way. So was Rudy Gobert defending himself? Yeah. Yes, they're both emotional guys. And the sports is emotional. It's really emotional. Right? It's you're going to argue. You argue with friends. If you're playing with family, you argue with family. You argue with teammates. It happens. You're not going to always get along. Now, do you want to avoid having physical altercation? Yes. Does physical altercation happen on teams? Yes. Does it happen in front of cameras? Normally, no. But did it happen with Draymond? For some reason, it did. And did it happen with Rudy Gobert right now? It did. Rudy Gobert is not the most liked person because of what he did during COVID. I always say, like, Rudy Gobert started people caring about COVID. He, of course, didn't start COVID, but he's what people started caring about when they thought of COVID. So it's kind of funny to me. You know, people didn't really mess with him like that. Then with the Jazz and everything, everyone thought him and Donovan Mitchell didn't get along. Blah, blah, blah. Would I have kept Donovan Mitchell on that Utah Jazz team? Yes, but I see what they did. They decided to go young. They almost made the playoffs, let's be honest. They definitely almost made the playoffs. But they used to feel that they didn't get along. All this stuff happened. Now you probably have Mike Conley there watching everything going like, what the hell is going on? This is the last game of the season. We're trying to win a game, which they end up winning, so they can have the one game. But they don't want it like this. Now we're going to a playing game, not getting along with our sometimes all-star, sometimes all-NBA Defensive Player of the Year guy. We don't even have him. And quite frankly, he did fall off this year defensively. He's on nobody's first team. He's not even on no one's second team. Rudy Gobert's not even talked about defensively. Not even talked about. Maybe because the team is not that good. I don't know. Mind you, his stats have still been okay. People just don't talk about him, and it happens. People are talking about Giannis because he's so great, but some people should be giving Giannis the title, but they don't want to give it to him. I mean, as MVP. We all know he's the best player in the world, but we don't want to give it to him. Whatever. But all in all, this Rudy Gobert situation is crazy. And quite frankly, that's not even the craziest. That's probably the craziest thing. But it's only the first thing that happened to the Timberwolves. They don't have their best. They may not have their best two defenders against the Lakers on Tuesday. They may not have Rudy Gobert, but they damn sure don't have Jaden McDaniels. Why don't they have Jaden McDaniels? Because he decided to punch a wall. Now, in saying that, I've been angry sometimes, and I've punched the wall before. So I cannot dismiss someone punching a wall because you get so frustrated. The unfortunate part of you punching this wall is that you fractured your hand. So now you're out indefinitely, which means you are out for the play-in, and if you make it, you're out for the playoffs. This is great news for the Pelicans, who will probably make it to the 8th seed to face Denver, which I think is going to be a great series. I think I can see the Pelicans winning a game or two, honestly. And that's if they beat OKC, which I think they'll beat OKC because I think they're actually going to beat OKC, like legit beat OKC. Now, if they face Minnesota, That's not got no Patrick Beverly anymore. So what's gonna happen? So you lost your two best defenders. Timberwolves don't have any draft picks. They're a team that's going to be really thinking, how can we make this team better for Cat and Anthony Edwards? You don't got to worry about Anthony Edwards leaving. I don't think he's the type of guy to request a trade unless like the organization really like does him wrong. I don't see it. He seems to have a really good like head on his shoulders type of guy. I don't know. He doesn't seem that type of guy. But let me stop talking about this Minnesota thing. Because honestly, we can go like 20 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, an hour about this. Because it's just such a bad look. Oh, let me, even before I end it. Draymond, I guess Rudy Gobert commented on the fact that Draymond did it. He punched Jordan Poole. So Draymond, being who he is, tweeted out the same thing that Rudy Gobert tweeted out. And basically was like, you know, if you want to talk shit, you can talk shit. But if you think I'm not going to talk shit, if you think me, Draymond Green's not going to talk shit, you're wrong. I'm going to talk shit as well. That's what's going to happen. Now, the next fight that happened was the Clippers. Mason Plumlee and Bones Highland. Now, I don't know what their argument was about. Like I said, people argue. LeBron and Mario Chalmers argued as well. Teams argue. Sometimes it's the heat of the moment. It happens. Now, in saying that, Bones Highland was a guy who the Denver Nuggets traded for like a second round pick. Maybe because of the money, blah, blah, blah. But Bones Highland was a guy that you thought like was a sixth man of the year candidate. But now he's on the Clippers. And I think he's like in a contract year. So I'm very curious to see where he goes next. I'm hoping he doesn't turn into like a potential journeyman. Turns into like a Gerald Green type of player who just bounces around different teams who may need a electric scorer. That's almost what J.R. Smith turned into. Iman Shepherd almost turned into. Dion Waiters turned into it, and then it didn't work out for him. I think he also had other shit going on, but that didn't work out. So you're hoping Bones, who's an electric player, really is, offensive player. But that's, you don't want to see all that. You definitely don't want that. Now, that fight wasn't as exciting as the Rudy Gobert fight, and nor would it be. It won't be as exciting, but it's just hilarious that two games had teammates just wanting to punch each other out. You know? Now, like, I don't really care about the Clippers one. The Clipper one is what it is. Kind of wants to talk about the Rudy one, but it is what it is. I want to talk about, I feel like I'm going to rant here, and I'm going to try my hardest not to. I'm really going to try my hardest not to go on a rant here. But it may happen. It definitely may happen. The rant may definitely happen. Now, with all that being said, this is my thought process. Dwayne Casey stepped down. Now, I don't believe Detroit wanted him to step down. I don't believe he wanted to step down. I believe that was like a mutual thing. I truly think that was a mutual thing. That he probably went to the office like, hey, I'm like 60 plus. His kids are young. People don't know. Like, his kids are probably they're probably teens now. Because when they're with the Raptors, like, they look like 7 and 8, I believe. But so they're probably within their teens right now. Probably want to see them grow up. And honestly, what has more job safety is a head office job. Way more safety than a coaching job. Now, I don't think they gave him an extension, so I don't believe that they were going to fire him anytime soon. They knew the team they had. They didn't have any expectations. They're going to get a top, probably 7 draft pick to pair with a Cade, to pair with an Ivy, a Durant, like with a Stewart. This is a young team. I was going to say pair with a Bogdan. They had trade, was it Bojan? I think he's Bojan. They got trade. They're going to trade for something like, he's probably still a first round draft pick, but who knows? Maybe the Raptors can get him for like I don't know, maybe a Precious and I don't know. That's a whole other life that we gotta deal with. It's not gonna happen now. That team, I believe, doing Casey, like, that was a mutual thing, very mutual, I believe. So the next coaching who got fired, is Steven Silas of the Houston Rockets. Now, the rumors are that, Udoka may go to that team as a coach. I think there's a Milwaukee guy that may go. There's a few other guys that they're thinking of. Blah, blah, blah. Whoever. And even Nick Nurse is a potential guy who may go to this team. Well, let me tell you this. It don't make no sense for a coach like Udoka or Nurse to go on a team like Houston. That team needs a young coach like a Will Hardy of, I believe Will Hardy is OKC, or is that the Jazz? That's the Jazz. I think Will Hardy's the Jazz. So you don't need a guy like that, right? You don't need a coach that wants to win. He is Utah Jazz coach. Will Hardy is Utah Jazz coach. Yes, you don't want that. You need a guy who is not going to expect a lot from the team and going to grow the team. And I just made the video about the Raptors, and I was saying that Nick Nurse, the one thing that I think he doesn't do well in is I don't think he develops the team well. I don't think he develops the young guys well. Well, the Houston Rockets are all young guys. They're going to get a top 4 draft pick. Probably guaranteed they're getting a top 4 draft pick. So you can get one of the twins. You can get Brandon Miller. You can get Scoot. Or you can get the biggest prize of them all, Victor Wembanyama. And I'll say this now. Victor and Jalen Green are not in the same, should not be playing on the same team. Maybe if Jalen Green's a bench player, yeah. And I said it from the draft day, and I say it respectfully, because nothing wrong with being this type of player. Jalen Green is a 6-man. He is a electric scorer like a Bones Highland. But he don't play no defense. And as much as people don't want to talk about defense as much, teams still want guys who can, hold their own, okay? They don't want some guy who's going to let blow-bys go. And that team is not good. I made a video months ago about 2 things. That playing with Luka isn't that fun. I said it months ago that playing with Luka isn't fun. And I'm not even going to talk about Luka in this podcast and whatever Dallas was doing to try to keep their draft pick. No, I'm not going to talk about that, okay? That's a small mention. And I talked about the fact that the Houston Rockets, this was only 10 games in. And I'm they're disgusting to watch. ISO ball the whole game? We're playing your turn, my turn? I think Kevin Porter Jr. could be a quality player. I think he'd be a very quality player. Do I think he's a starting point guard? No, I do not think he's a starting point guard. I think most fans would believe he's not a starting point guard. Because he's not. Jalen Green, he can, I think, fine, he could be a starter. But it depends on the type of team you are. If he can... There's one player I love on that team, and I love this player on that Houston Rockets team, is Sengun. I do think Sengun is like a baby Jokic. I truly think he's like baby Jokic. He has the ability to pass. He's great. His vision is great. He can score the basket. He doesn't look like he's the most athletic, but he's a good player. I always feel like the offense should go around him. So is Udoka going to do that? Also, Udoka and Nick Nurse are in-your-face type coaches. They will call you out in the media. Are we trying to do that to this young team? Jabari Smith Jr., who everyone is supposed to be number 1 pick, they end up being 3rd. A guy that people didn't think had a great season in the beginning. Then I think he ended up pretty well. Very well, I think so. I'm not sure if he's going to make it to any all-rookie team. If I think about the all-rookie guys, I don't think he doesn't stand out to me, so I don't think he's going to make it. I think he could be a quality player. He may not be... He'd probably be a stretch 4, the way he plays. He may not be an all-star, I don't know, but you never know. These guys can project... You never know. Oladipo didn't start off well, ended off well, or in the middle was well. Now he's what he is, but you never know what's going to happen, right? My team, the Raptors, had Pascal Siakam on the 27th pick, and he was an all-star and all-NBA player. They never thought that. I thought he'd be an energy guy. So you never know what this team's going to be. But I'm telling you, the firing of Steven Silas, you can tell because this team didn't mess with him anymore. I think his vision and the vision of the team didn't grow together. These young guys just wanted to come in and play. You see a video of Josh Christopher basically like mimicking his coach, and everyone's just still slapping him up. And I'm thinking, was he really mimicking his coach? Because that's blatant disrespect. Some say he was talking about the ref, but if that was with the coach, that's disrespectful. No matter how you slice it, no matter how you want to look at it, he disrespected the coach greatly. Greatly, greatly, greatly disrespected the coach. And you can't do that. So I don't believe they did right by Steven Silas. So they can say whatever they want. Oh, we let go of Steven Silas. We want to take it to a new direction, blah, blah, blah. Your team isn't good enough to take it to a new direction. Your new direction better be getting Scoot or Victor Wembanyama. You know what you don't want? You don't want Brandon Miller. You don't want Brandon Miller, and you don't want a Scoot, or you don't want any wing. You get a wing, nothing's gonna happen to this team. If you get a wing, it's pointless. It's pointless because then you're still thinking it's Jalen Green's team. You're still thinking that, and it's not. It's not. He needs to go to the bench or something. Unless he can play better defense, something better needs to happen. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Jabari Smith Jr. still a project. All these guys are still a project. So does Udoka want this? Does he want a project? Does Nick Nurse want to be in a project? No, you need a young coach who's still growing within his own self, who can be with this team to grow with this team. You cannot put a vet head coach, and I know Udoka's not technically a vet head coach, but he's a vet coach in the league. He's been an assistant coach for a while. You just don't do that. This team isn't good enough. If they get a Victor or a Scoot, things like that, if Houston Rockets were to get the number 2 pick and get Scoot, what is going to happen? They're going to have to trade Kevin Porter Jr., and Scoot will probably play the 1. But please, let's not put Scoot with Jalen Green. That's just not how it works. I think you got to make some blockbuster moves. Trade Jalen Green too. I know he's in his second year, but trade him. That's all I'm saying. But what they did to Steven Silas is wrong. That's not right. They should have treated him better. He's a good coach. I know he's a good coach. People mess with him. I know he's a good coach. That team sucks. The Houston Rockets suck. That team failed on him. That team stopped playing for him. That's not his fault. That's that team's fault. Trash team. I said it from the beginning of the season. Trash team. I think they went on a run winning a couple games. Trash team still. The way they did Coach Silas, trash. Good. He's a good. I think he's a good coach. Just trash, trash, trash. I want to give, congratulations to Udonis Haslem's retirement. He were not playing the play-ins or the playoffs at all. But he retired, scored 24 points in his last game. Got a quick shout out from everyone. I just think this is just good organization. This is what I think anyone should feel like. This is why, going back to my Raptors, I gotta talk about them. I like Thad Young. Why not make him a lifer? You always need that one player. I know some people are like, oh, he's filling out a roster spot. A lot of times the 12th and 14th guy, you don't even know their names. So I think it'd be nice to have a Thad Young to help this team along the way. I know a lot of people think, which is probably going to happen, they're going to he's technically signed for next season. They could, it's a team option, so they may waive it so they can have more money to potentially re-sign a Fred or re-sign a Gary, whatever. But I like that. I hope he would want to stay. I hope we can stretch his contract. I hope something can come out of it. I think doing things like what happened to Udonis Haslem is good. Teams need guys like that. Teams need guys who you believe in, who can believe in the team, who will help the team, help the young guys, who can be like a coach on the bench when other guys don't want to listen to the coach. It's just a guy who's a vet who's seen a bunch of things. Teams need it. Look at the Houston Rockets, who do not have a vet. Hence why they traded their coach. Or not traded, they fired their coach. Because they don't have a vet to help these guys. Look at Eric Gordon. Eric Gordon complained about them. Who are these guys listening to? They have Boban, but Boban's just there for the vibes. So, it is what it is. But I'm going to go just now. I think I talked a lot of ball today because I had my Raptors and I did this same day, of course. I didn't want to talk too much about it. Hope you guys like and subscribe. But not done yet. Don't I'm not done yet. Don't just click it's not done. Let's talk about the play-ins. I was gonna make a video about the plans, but let's just do a prediction now. Do a quick one. We have Tuesday's games. Miami, Atlanta. Miami will win. I do believe so. Miami will win. Probably also because I don't want to face Miami, and that if the Raptors win their game, I don't want to face them. Miami will win, and LA will win. That whole losing Rudy Gobert thing is a thing. It's a thing. It's a thing. Jaden McDaniels probably people are talking about him making a defensive team. I feel like him punching the wall. I feel like voters are weird. They're not going to vote him anymore, so he may not make it. So then that's gone. So you have Lakers and then Atlanta winning. I mean Lakers and Miami winning, and then you have. I think the Pels will win. Pelicans will beat the OKC Thunder. Shout out to OKC for making it though. Shout out to them. Good on them. And then I think the Raptors will beat the Bulls. Now you go to Friday's games. I think the Pelicans will beat the Timberwolves. And I'm hoping the Raptors will beat Atlanta. I don't know. I'm not going to pick that one. I hope they do. But that's really it. You know, shout outs to the Lakers because now they're going to face the Grizzlies. And I think they're a part of the bracket that you really want to be a part of that bracket if you're the Lakers. To be honest. That's the bracket. And I may do a playoff video when everything is all said and done. But that's the bracket you want to be on. Because that 2-7, you face Memphis, I will think the Lakers are going to win that. I'm not going to lie. I think the Lakers can make it to the Western Conference Finals. I really do. I think they have a good enough squad. I just don't like to count on. I discount LeBron. And if AD's healthy, I don't want to discount them. And if they have good the role players, I think they can do a lot. I think they can beat the Grizzlies. And I think if they were to make it to the second round, you're facing either the Golden State Warriors, who I think they can probably lose, or the Sacramento Kings. And honestly, if I'm being honest, I'm rooting for Sacramento. Definitely rooting for Sacramento. So it is what it is. But shout outs to the Lakers. Hopefully, you know, in the Eastern Conference, not as fun. I hope the Nets can win 2 games. I like the Nets team, so I'm hoping for. I like when there's one thing I like about the NHL is that most of the games go 6 or 7. I would like for the NBA to kind of have that same model. First round is always so trash when it goes 5 games or 4 games. I want no sweeps. I hope this year we get no sweeps. I hope everyone competes. Even if it's the Raptors against Milwaukee, Milwaukee can lose 1 game and Toronto can win. I really hope so. But that's it from me. Like and subscribe. Follow me on social media platforms. And I'll talk to you again. Probably do a playoff video as well. We'll see.